Hello, my name is Gabriel Apholz, and welcome back to the Sports Report. Hello, my name is Gabriel Apholz, and welcome to the Sports Report. Today we'll be talking about Week 18 in the NFL very briefly, and we'll be talking about wildcard round injuries and draft. And also today we will be talking about the MLB and seeing what has been going on in the MLB. So let's move on to the first segment of this news report. Okay, so today I'm actually going to switch it up. I'm going to just go straight into wildcard weekend. This weekend is going to be crazy in the NFL, so let's get on to injuries, so on and so forth. So the first game of the wildcard playoff is going to be Chargers versus Texans. And there was not a lot of did not participate in practice this week so far. The only person that did not participate for the Chargers was Josh Palmer. He's been having an injury all year long, so we cannot deny that to him. For the Texans, however, they've also had some injuries too, but it has not been looking hot for the Texans. Danico Autry did not participate in practice this week. Jake Henson did not participate. Shaq Mason did not participate, and John Menchie III did not participate in practice this week. The Steelers versus Ravens is the next game on Prime Video. Cameron Hayward did not participate in practice, which is very shocking. And Isaac Samalo did not participate in practice today as well. And the only person that did not participate for the Ravens was Zay Flowers, but he's been dealing with an injury for the last couple weeks, give or take. The Bills, Broncos, Eagles, Packers, Broncos, Commanders, Rams, and Vikings, they all do not have injury reports out yet to the masses, but I do know Jalen Hurts is back from concussion protocol. AJ Brown is back from knee, and Devontae Smith back from just rest. And also Dallas Goedert's back, as you saw in Week 18. But the Green Bay Packers are out without Christian Watson and Jordan Love. That's gotta hurt them very, very badly. My prediction for this NFL wildcard round is not anything crazy. It seems like everyone else's I've seen so far. And let's get right into it. So here's my predictions for the wild card round. The Chargers beat the Texans in a very, very close game. Justin Herbert doesn't have a whole lot of weapons, and so does the Texans. The Texans don't really have a whole lot of weapons with Stephon Diggs being out for the rest of the year and such as so on and so forth. The Chargers will win 21-13. It's going to be a close game. The Ravens versus Steelers is the next game. I think the Ravens are going to wipe the floor with that combo of Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry. And I think they'll win 35-28 in a very close game. And Russell Wilson will find a way to score. The Bills and Broncos game, that game is not going to be close. The Bills will win 40-3 in a blowout, in an absolute blowout. If they don't blow out the Broncos, it's going to be a very tough time for them, for sure. The Eagles versus Packers at the Link. The Eagles are going to wipe the floor with the same thing as Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry. Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley. But the difference between the Eagles and Packers and Ravens and Steelers game is the Eagles have more weapons. They have A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and Dallas Goedert all back from injury. And that team has not played with each other in a very long time. And that defense of the Philadelphia Eagles, that number one run defense, has been very good. Even though their pass defense has not been on par, they still have been very good with Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell leading that secondary very, very well as rookies. Commanders versus Buccaneers. I'm taking the underdog. I'm taking the Buccaneers with Mike Evans recently making history with 11 consecutive 1,000-yard seasons. And that connection with him and Baker Mayfield is just something different. And the Rams versus Vikings game. Now that's going to be a good game to watch with Sam Darnold and Justin Jefferson and Matthew Stafford and Puka Nacua. That game is going to be very close, but it will end in a kicking duel. And I feel like the Vikings kickers relatively have been better success. So that game will end 21-17. That is my prediction for the wild card round of the NFL. But next week I will talk about the divisional round and the recap of the wild card round. So now let's move on to MLB news. This year a lot of teams have signed really good in this winter. They have signed a really good. I will be talking about notable players, such as the first team to come up is Baltimore. They signed really good guys. The most notable signing so far this offseason is Tyler O'Neill from Boston to a $49.5 million deal for 3 years. Boston, they have signed very good pitchers in Aroldis Chapman and in Walker Buehler, combining to a $31.8 million deal between the two of them for the next 2 years between the two. So that combo is definitely going to be crazy coming up this season, and let's just hope that the rest of the AL East will be able to catch up. Chicago only signed Austin Slater from Baltimore. Cleveland, their biggest signing was a re-signing of Shane Bieber to a $16 million deal. Detroit, in my opinion, their biggest deal is Gleyber Torres from the Yankees to a $15 million deal. Houston signs only one player, Christian Walker, to a $60 million 3-year deal. Kansas City re-signs Michael Lorenzen to a $7 million deal. Los Angeles, the Angels, their most notable pickup is Yoshi Kikuchi from Houston, left-hander, for a $63 million 3-year deal. The New York Yankees. In my opinion, their most notable signing is Max Fried, and that should be the most notable for a $218 million deal for 8 years. That is a very good pickup for the New York Yankees. Tampa only signed Danny Jansen from Boston to an $8.5 million deal. Texas Rangers' biggest signing is their re-signing of Nathan Eovaldi, a $75 million deal for the next 3 years. Well, not $75 million over the next 3 years. It's $75 million for 3 years. Toronto only signed one person, Yimi Garcia from Seattle to a $15 million deal for 2 years. Athletics, their biggest signing was definitely Luis Severino from the Mets for a $67 million deal for the next 3 years. Arizona's only signing is Corbin Burns, which is respectable. I mean, that's a lot of money that he's about to be getting, $210 million for the next 6 years. Chicago's biggest signing of the year so far is Matthew Boyd from Cleveland, a $29 million deal for the next 2 years. And Cincinnati's biggest signing so far is they announced they signed a $21 million qualifying offer. There's not been any other updates for Nick Martinez, so I can only assume that he took it. For Cincinnati, their biggest signing... Wait, no, I already talked about Cincy. Did I say Chicago? I did say Chicago, and I did say Cincy. So Colorado's next. Their biggest signing is Kyle Farmer from Minnesota for a $3.25 million deal. The Dodgers, their biggest signing, without a question of a doubt, is Blake Snell from San Francisco to $182 million for the next 5 years. $182 million for the next 5 years. He's not getting $182 million for the next 5 years. That's his total contract. The New York Mets, we all know their biggest signing is Juan Soto for $765 million for 15 years. That is a very big chunk of money, and they could have gotten way more pieces, but they definitely hit the salary cap this year. Philadelphia's biggest signing is Max Kepler from Minnesota for $10 million 1 year contract. San Francisco, their biggest signing is Willy Adames from Milwaukee, $182 million for 7 years. Washington, the Nationals, their biggest signing is they're re-signing Trevor Williams, a right-handed pitcher, to a $14 million 2-year deal, which is not a bad look at all. So that is, oh, wait a minute. Justin Verlander joins Giants on a $15 million deal for his 20th season, which is a big pickup for the San Francisco Giants. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all the big ones I've seen on my list here. And with that being said, my name is Gabriel Apholz, and you just watched the Sports Report.